men who I expect to receive an enormous hero's welcome here in Keighley. It's the 4 men who will represent Team England, and they're about to make their way to the ring. Hull's amazing Matt Myers, lead standout Liam Slater, and Lincoln's 19-year-old sensation, Robbie X.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, Robbie X, Liam Slater, the amazing Matt Myers.
And I said 4 men because, of course, the final member and the team captain of Team England is the man who we're about to see. He is the undisputed, unified NGW heavyweight champion, and he is the man with the biggest bullseye in British professional wrestling ever increasingly on his head, because he holds the most important televised gold belts in the United Kingdom today. And for this contest, those belts are on the line. But if there's one man who can handle the pressure, it's the man we're about to see.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing the 4th and final member of Team England, the current reigning and defending New Generation Wrestling undisputed champion, the show stealer,
Nathan Cruz walks into this building as a marked man, because not only are there 4 men across the ring from him representing Team Scotland, any of which can leave as the new NGW champion by scoring a pinfall on either Cruz or any of his 3 teammates. But it was just announced this week. But the very next, believe this or not, the very next #1 contender to have a shot against Nathan Cruz will be Cruz's best friend and his tag team partner in this match, the amazing Matt Myers. Yes, it was confirmed this week, because regular viewers of this show will remember that Matt Myers won the Destiny Rumble, that 20-man contest. What will that mean for this match? Find out when we return. Back with you here on British Wrestling Weekly. Alex Shane joining you at ringside, and we are just moments away from the bell ringing for the most epic conclusion possible for NGW's first ever England versus Scotland series, because what started off as a 3-match series has now turned into all-out 8-man tag team warfare, and if the stakes weren't high enough, NGW's heavyweight champion, the show stealer Nathan Cruz, can lose his title if any of those 4 men from Team Scotland pin any member of Team England. It may turn out to be the biggest mistake of Nathan Cruz's reign as champion, but he is a man that does not like to be called chicken. We've said it before, I don't want to make him sound like Marty McFly from Back to the Future, but if Nathan Cruz has one Achilles heel, it's that temper. And Team Scotland played a number on him and called him out and challenged him to put that title on the line. So right now he is in a situation where the belt that he has worked his entire career for is at stake. And as I mentioned before the commercial break, to make things even more complicated, the man stood next to him there, his childhood best friend Matt Myers, has recently been declared as the #1 contender and Cruz's next challenger for the belt. So the dynamic in here is going to be complex, because Myers is certainly not going to want this one to end and that belt be taken back to Scotland. The bell rings and we're underway. In fact, we were underway before the bell rang. And it's now Matt Myers. Oh, and what I was going to say is Matt Myers and Joe Hendry, but very quickly that turned around, and now it's Nathan Cruz, and Joe Hendry. This one, I'm telling you now, is going to be a complex job for a commentator to call, but I'm going to do my best here. Cruz sends Lionheart into Hendry. Cruz looks like he's going to do the same to Kid Fight there. Kid Fight, man, head of steam. But a tough, rugged Glaswegian. And now it's the biggest man of the match, Davey Blaze, whoa! And a massive double hip toss there by the team of Slater and Myers. We've seen these guys as a tag team before, and Kid Fight charges on, hits Davey Blaze. And Team Scotland in the early goings, look at that drop kick. by Robbie X. Team Scotland in the early goings are not looking in good shape. And look at this, textbook suplex there by Nathan Cruz, who goes to the outside. And if I know Cruz, I know what's coming. Rolling senton from the outside in on Joe Hendry, the most charismatic Scottish wrestler I have seen in quite some time. In fact, I'd probably tie him with Grado, and Grado has become I would say a national celebrity, an international celebrity, thanks to his appearance in TNA. So to put Joe Hendry in that category with Grado is a big compliment. And now, Liam Slater in there with Hendry. Don't forget, Liam Slater actually scored the only pinfall over Team Scotland in this series in his tag match alongside Matt Myers against Kid Fight and Davey Blaze. It was Slater who scored that roll-up on Davey Blaze. It was considered an upset. Of course, Hendry getting a pin on Robbie X, who's just had the tag in, and Lionheart and Nathan Cruz go into a draw. It was a very, or double disqualification, call it what you will. It was very dodgy refereeing. But that is now by the by, because we are in the middle of 8-man tag team warfare. And Nathan Cruz has put the ultimate trust and faith in his tag team partners, because the belt he's worked his entire career for can change hands from a pinfall that is not on the champion. It's a very unorthodox and bizarre situation, but that is one of the prices that you must pay for holding the most important televised title in the UK today. A title, by the way, that NGW management are already in the process of working out what comes next after Matt Myers takes on Nathan Cruz, because there is, from what I've been told, a big 4-man knockout tournament in the planning, which will find the first challenger for whoever is champion after the match that Cruz has with Matt Myers. And listen, I've got some big news for you. And that, well, look at this. Yeah, Team Scotland there, Lionheart using that ring smarts to get under the skin of Team England, and Joe Hendry faking a tag there. I'll come back to what I was saying in a second, because it's big news. But yeah, Hendry there, the ref, that's that same referee, I hasten to add, that actually called last week's match between Lionheart and Cruz a draw when Team Scotland were the first to interfere. Remember, the referees here have been told to try and be as lenient as possible, because the last thing anybody wants is either Team England or Team Scotland to claim that it was biased officiating that created an unwelcome outcome. But as I was saying, a 4-man knockout tournament is coming up, and the first man, big back elbow there by Kid Fight, the first man who is being brought into NGW for this tournament, get this, it's big news, a man who was recently voted on WWE's website as the single best professional wrestler not to be under contract by the WWE. Zack Sabre Jr. is the first man announced for that tournament as Robbie X. Look at that, handspring off the ropes, comes back, double back elbow. Wow. So more on that Zack Sabre Jr. story coming up shortly. But the big story here is that Robbie X is crawling for a tag, and he gets it. So Liam Slater, the youngest man in this match. In fact, it may be a tie between him and Robbie X. I'm going to have to check my file of facts of wrestling stats for that. But by the by, because at this point, Liam Slater hits that big drop kick and comes in on Lionheart, who is the most experienced man in this match. So it's one of the least experienced, in fact, the least experienced in there with the most experience, but with that springboard senton, you'd never guess it. Referee gets a 2, and Slater has youth and energy on his side. This guy has just got the kind of fight that you can only see in a young man, because no matter what happens, he will keep coming back. He wants a job in pro wrestling for life, does Liam Slater, and he's going the right way about it, with double teaming there like we saw with Matt Myers. In fact, Slater and Myers recently been a very good tag team on this programme, and you saw a little bit of that tag teaming work there as Holmes amazing Matt Myers, tight side headlock there on Lionheart. He whips Myers up, and a boot in the kidneys there, and Matt Myers better not get distracted, and he walks straight into that right hand, which was, I hasten to add from my vantage point, a closed fist. We saw it last week against Nathan Cruz, and we've seen it again now as, well, Lionheart, big suplex. I must tell you, we have a very big match on next week's programme. It is a first ever match for two of the biggest names in British wrestling, the first time they've ever competed on national television. And I will be telling you a bit more about that later on, because we're going to announce that before the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. But right now it's Glasgow's Kid Fight there, and look at that. Vicious elbow to the leg and the knee of Matt Myers. And Myers, you've got to bet that if look at that, spit in the face of Slater, and Slater there. These guys do not want to get distracted, but it's hard not to. Look at this. Look at this referee using his entire body weight to try and keep those guys out of the ring. And as a result, Team Scotland doing a number. You can hear people screaming here because those four Scots put the boots to Matt Myers. You can see on his face, he is out of it. That was 4 sets of boots and 8 big feet going to work. Wow, look at that slam by Davey Blaze. This guy's explosive. This guy is dangerous in that ring, and this guy holds Matt Myers in a very vulnerable position. You've got to believe that Matt Myers will give everything he has to make sure that that belt does not change hands before he gets his chance to face Nathan Cruz, because there is a very real risk that if Team Scotland win that belt based on what they've said, we may never see it back in NGW again. When that was said in those interviews earlier and Kid Fight said that, I honestly don't think he's joking. If Team Scotland leave with this belt, they will hold this company hostage, just like they held Nathan Cruz's request for an 8-man tag hostage last week. These guys are savvy and they know exactly how to play the wrestling industry like a musical instrument. And it's Kid Fight, who I just mentioned there, going to work on Myers. And Matt Myers, let's not forget how hard Matt Myers fought in the 20-man Destiny Rumble. It's a match that happens, that's so big it happens just once a year on the New Generation Wrestling calendar. And Matt Myers went through 19 other competitors to win that. Only for his match against Rampage Brown to be completely sabotaged by the interference of Dara Diablo. Many felt Myers never got the rematch he deserved, and he has got that coming up against Nathan Cruz, so he's going to fight with everything he has to make sure that it's Cruz and Myers in that contest. And with that big double clothesline, that's a clear indication that he does not want this belt to change hands. Myers going to the wrong corner. He is so out of it that he was actually calling to the wrong corner, but now he's got it. An attack to Cruz. Cruz is in. The show stealer, the undisputed NGW heavyweight champion, is in this ring, taking on all members of Team Scotland with lefts and rights. And look at this, vintage Nathan Cruz. Slingshot belly to back. We're going to have to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back. Back here with you for your final part of British Wrestling Weekly as Kid Fight, look at that, taking off Liam Slater and Robbie X, but Nathan Cruz in the ring, huge double DDT on Joe Hendry and Davey Blaze. And if you've just joined us, we are in the middle of 8-man all-out tag team warfare as Team England takes on Team Scotland. And if any member of Team Scotland pins any member of Team England, then that man right there, the show stealer Nathan Cruz, will lose the NGW heavyweight title. He's going to the top. And Kid Fight there, just pulling the leg of Cruz, and he landed very uncomfortably. And you've got to believe that's going to take the champion out for some time. The Kid Fight, look at this. Charges at the champion, comes back and big drop kick right in the face in the corner. It looked like he also landed on the knee of Cruz. That did not look good for the champion. But keep your eye on Liam Slater. Kid Fight hasn't seen him, and Slater off the top, and huge drop kick. God, he was like a missile. Straight into Hendry. Hendry's got that finishing move. Overhead slam, but Robbie X standing shooting star press, but he hasn't seen Davey Blaze in a spear. Massive spear. Man, this one getting faster and faster, and Myers stunner on Davey Blaze. But turn around, Myers comes straight into that. Low blow, ref didn't see it. Or maybe he did. Either way, this one looks like it's going to continue. And surely, is the ref going to cut? And Nathan Cruz breaks out. I couldn't see from my vantage point if that ref saw that. But if he did, there is no way he should have counted that pinfall in front of that. I mean, that was a blatant low blow. But as I said, the stakes are so high, as you can see, by Nathan Cruz and Kid Fight. Back and forth, forearms. And a rake to the eyes of the NGW heavyweight champion, Kid Fight. Hits the ropes and eyes up with the shoulders. Show stolen. If he can hit this, and he does, this one's going to be over. No on. Kid Fight able to roll out the ring. I mentioned it earlier, it looked like Kid Fight landed on the knee of Cruz with that dropkick in the corner. And Cruz is definitely favouring that knee. As Team Scotland sent to the outside. Man, that one just picked up out of absolutely nowhere. And Slater now hits the ropes, keep your eye on Slater. Oh! Huge dive, springboard. Plancher over the top rope, and Robbie X. Looks like Robbie X is going for something. And X is on the, oh my God. Oh, look at that. Second rope moonsault to the outside, and X just risked it all for Team England. And for the show stealer Nathan Cruz's title, you see on that replay that big dive and that huge follow-up moonsault by Robbie X. Man, that could have caused serious injury in his Nathan Cruz looks like he's going for a dive on that bad leg. He comes back for Lionheart. Oh, straight into, oh, look at that. Lionheart's finishing move. Whoa, that was just inches, and I mean just inches, from Lionheart being the new NGW champion and taking that belt with him back to Scotland. My God, that was close. And now Lionheart going to the top rope here. Nathan Cruz in a very vulnerable position. Frog splash, but right on the knee of Cruz. And yeah, look at Cruz on that bad knee. And now it's down to Matt Myers to tag in the man who is not only his best friend, but the man he will face for that title if Team England can leave with those belts. But the way it's looking, this is anyone's game. Myers goes for that stunner again. Lionheart pushes him off, comes back for that rock bottom again and gets it. It's a move that he uses to finish. No way. In the centre of the ring. Oh! And Matt Myers just saved the title reign of Nathan Cruz. Man, look at Lionheart is on a roll. He hit that rock bottom. I'm not sure, I don't want to call it the lion's bottom, it sounds a bit strange, but he hit that on both Cruz and Myers, and both men were able to kick out. Oh, small package, 2 and 3, oh my God, Matt Myers got the pin. My God, I didn't see that coming. Matt Myers has just won this match for Team England and saved Nathan Cruz's NGW Undisputed Heavyweight title. My God. Look at this, you see in that replay, Myers there goes for that stunner straight into Lionheart's finishing move. Ref comes in, Myers just able to kick out. Just able to kick out. And as Lionheart got overconfident, Matt Myers there, roll up, small package, and that's all she wrote. Matt Myers has just saved Nathan Cruz's title when he holds. Oh, look at the way Matt Myers is looking at that belt, and Cruz has caught his eye, because these two men who have gone on a lifelong friendship, a lifelong journey to be professional wrestlers, now find themselves in a situation where they will have to wrestle each other, and at stake is the most important prize in televised British wrestling today. What friendship will be able to survive that? Where it looks like Cruz and Myers having a discussion which is between them, but the story right now is that Team England have managed to beat Team Scotland. But if what we saw from Team Scotland was anything to go by, this certainly will not be the last we see of Team Scotland. Joe Hendry, Kid Fight, Davey Blaze and Lionheart, and men with a vision, men with a focus. And for this night, that focus was unsuccessful. But I'm sure we'll see them back. But Nathan Cruz there, Matt Myers, back to this story. It's interesting because it was just announced that Matt Myers would be the #1 contender for that belt just days before this match. And no matter what Cruz may think, Matt Myers was the man that scored the winning pinfall. Yeah, shakes his hand, scored the winning pinfall, and in the process saved Nathan Cruz's title. How do both men feel about their friendship and about each other going into this huge title showdown? We'll talk of the huge matches on next week's British Wrestling Weekly. We have a first time ever contest for two big stars of British wrestling who have never faced each other on television before. It's a match I can't wait to see, plus NGW's open door policy returns to British Wrestling Weekly. It's going to be a great episode, and to find out more, it's over to you, Charlie Shakespeare.
So Matt Myers there picking up the win for Team England, and in the process saving the NGW title from being taken back to Scotland by the invading team of Davey Blaze, Kid Fight, Joe Hendry and Lionheart. You can be certain that we've not heard the last of Team Scotland on this programme, but in the meantime the NGW Undisputed title picture has clearly never been more interesting. With it now being announced that the show stealer Nathan Cruz's next title match will be at Hull City Hall against none other than his childhood best friend Matt Myers, the bubbling tensions between the two could not be more obvious during our main event.